Hey, everybody. So I wanted to talk about basically what I saw on a Tom Grossi video that he had made maybe a day ago or so about which teams have the most pressure to do well this year. And I wanted to go over my teams that I think have the most pressure to do well this year. First up, I have the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have been one of the most winning franchises each of the last 4 years. All right. They've made the playoffs each of the last 4 years, and they've won 11 or more games each of the last 4 years. The problem, well, postseason success has eluded them a little bit. Let's start off with 2019, where they were just scratching the surface. So I can't really fully blame them, but basically, they had a really good defense that year. They had an offense that did not turn the football over. Um, and they won 10 games. Um, they blew a 16-point lead to Deshaun Watson and the Texans in the wild card round and went one and done. So that's how it all started. Then 2020, they wound up winning 13 games that year. They made it all the way to the AFC Championship game after defeating the Colts in the wild card round, defeating the Ravens in the divisional round. But in the AFC Championship game, they started off well. They had a 9-0 lead, and then that was when the wheels on the wagon came off for Buffalo. From that point forward, they wound up getting dominated, absolutely dominated, 38-12 the rest of the way, and lost 38-21. Um, 2021, Josh Allen performed. Let's not get it twisted. Josh Allen performed well enough for the Bills to have at least gotten back to the AFC title game. He threw, I believe, 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions in the wild card round against the New England Patriots. Um, and then they won that game 47-10. That was a perfect game. They did not punt that entire game. And so basically they went to the divisional round to face the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. This was the rematch of the AFC Championship game the year before, where you saw Stephon Diggs, standing watching the Chiefs at the podium. And, it is what it is. Sean McDermott then went over to him and said, "We'll be back." And they were back. And the offense played phenomenal. Once again, Josh Allen had another one of those games, another one of those performances. 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions again, for I believe over 400 yards. He did his thing out there. But the problem is that the number one scoring defense in the NFL gave up 42 points, including allowing Mahomes and the Chiefs to get into field goal range in 13 seconds. Nonetheless, let's talk about last year, where they looked like the Bills just looked like a team that was a team of destiny. They looked like a team of destiny. I mean, the experts picked them to win the Super Bowl. Like, they were favored to win it last year, and it looked like that. They won 13 games, and I thought, in my opinion, after the Damar Hamlin situation, the Buffalo Bills were going to go out there and then be like, let's win it for Damar Hamlin. Let's win it for Damar Hamlin. And they just didn't do it. They just didn't show up. And so I really just felt like all the magic and things that I felt like would have gone the Buffalo Bills' way just didn't go their way. Josh Allen played horrible. Honestly, he played horrible in both the wild card round against the Dolphins and the divisional round. They were fortunate to even get out of the wild card round when Miami came back to make that a game, and they just hung on for dear life to end up winning that game. But nonetheless, for the Buffalo Bills, you got to think about, like, it's put up or shut up time. Josh Allen, you're in the absolute prime of your NFL career. You should have everything figured out. You got your players, you got your weapons. They even drafted you another weapon in Dalton Kincaid, who I'm pretty sure the Cowboys were targeting, but it just didn't happen. But yeah, you got all these players, you got all these weapons, all this talent around you. It's gotta happen this year, man. It's gotta happen this year. There's make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to happen for them this year. Otherwise, if it don't happen, I mean, they're just you're gonna see a lot of bandwagons start to be heading the other way. Because no bandwagon likes to root for a team that is good every year in the regular season, but can't do much of anything in the playoffs. And I'm just saying this for bandwagons. Up next, I wanted to talk about my team, the Dallas Cowboys. So, we all know that over the last 27 years, we haven't been able to get over the hump. We haven't been able to make an NFC championship game, let alone make a Super Bowl. You know, in my entire lifetime, unfortunately, I haven't been able to see that, experience that. But you kind of have to look at it. Micah Parsons, you see what he's done each of his last couple of years, but I don't yeah. You see what he's been doing and everything all around. You see what, I think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year. You look at the way he's been working out, he's been training this off season, he's preparing himself to win Defensive Player of the Year. All right, at least that's how I feel. Now, in his mind, he's preparing himself to go win a damn Super Bowl, but also winning Defensive Player of the Year. That's a badge of honor that a lot of defensive players would love to have. The same way for an offensive player when it comes to Offensive Player of the Year. And then League MVP, we all know, is just the cream of the crop. So being able to win that award is such a, prestigious award that, very many players out there in the NFL or people that want to, make that maybe a milestone that would love to have that. Nonetheless, so we know about Micah Parsons. We know about guys like Trayvon Diggs. All right, who's in a contract year, contract situation. He's going to put it all out there this year. You look at what we've done with our acquisitions. We traded for Stephon Gilmore. We traded for Brandon Cooks, and I think the offense, we got a lot of players and a lot of weapons on this offense, especially receivers. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, even Michael Gallup. And I would even say Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert was running routes and catching passes with Dak Prescott in his backyard this offseason. So he's trying to definitely get a rapport with him. And it's not only that. I think about our undrafted wide receiver in Jalen Marino Cropper. You know, so we got a lot of guys that I think can step up for this team. You know, the defense kind of speaks for itself. The offense I'm really hyped about. You know, you look at what the organization has done by trading for Brandon Cooks, and they might even make another move. They're trying to show to Dak, hey, look, we're getting you some weapons. All right, you got a weapon that's going to be coming back healthier, you know. But we also got you some weapons in trading for Brandon Cooks and drafting Deuce Vaughn. So we're getting you weapons. It's time for you to go out there and lay it on the line. And I'm expecting no less than a conference championship appearance this year. That's what I'm expecting. You know, I look at this team, man, and I feel like we really have it. And if we don't, then a lot of people are going to be making memes about us, you know, if they haven't already. But yeah, man, because it doesn't happen this year, then it's a disappointment. It don't matter what else happens. If we don't at least make the conference championship game this year with the team that I see that we have right now, it's an utter disappointment. And that's how I feel. It would be an utter disappointment. It will be more disappointing than 2021 when we went one and done to the 49ers. Because in 2021, we had an unbelievable offense, but I didn't feel like the defense had really kicked their stride yet. Last year, the defense kicked their stride. And now we know what to expect out of them. And now the offense is about to be able to get from under themselves and get back to their dominant ways again. And with Dak Prescott healthy, God willing, you know, we're going to do some big things this year, in my opinion, offensively. And then with the defense being able to, you know, play as well as they do. If we don't at least make it to the NFC Championship game, it's an utter disappointment. So that's another team that I have on here. Another team that I have is the New York Jets. I think the New York Jets, you have to think about, like, I mean, they traded for Aaron Rodgers. They gave up so much for him. And now it's like, all right, y'all gave up all this draft capital and stuff to get Aaron Rodgers. Y'all have a championship defense. Y'all have a great running game with Breece Hall coming back healthy from that ACL injury. It's like they said, we're there. We have it all figured out. All we need right now is a quarterback. And y'all got that. Y'all got one of the best in the league. Y'all got one of the best in the league in Aaron Rodgers. So if they don't do it, if they better at least make the playoffs. I know that for sure. All right. They have a lot weighing on them right now. I think they'll go 13-4. I'm not gonna lie. For me, I think the Jets can make it all the way to the Super Bowl, to be quite honest with you. I'm looking at all the teams in the AFC, and I'm not gonna lie to you. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think the Jets might have the best chance of being able to do it. They really do. I think they have the best chance. They have a really great roster. All right. I think they'll make it all the way to the Super Bowl. I think they will represent the AFC this year in the Super Bowl. And I know what y'all are going to say. What about Russell Wilson with the Denver Broncos last year? Remember that? I know, But Aaron Rodgers basically has all of his homies coming to the Jets, including his offensive coordinator that was his offensive coordinator before he went to the Denver Broncos to take a head coaching job last year, and then they cut him, they fired him. Now he's going to be his offensive coordinator again. So all the ducks are lining up perfectly and well for the New York Jets right now. And I'm expecting them to be the representative of the AFC and making it all the way to the Super Bowl. Then there's just one last team. Just one last team. So we talked about the Bills, the Cowboys, and the Jets. There's just one final team. One final team, in my opinion, that has the most pressure to succeed and have a good season. And I think that is the LA Chargers. I know a lot of y'all are gonna feel like that's me throwing a loop at you, throwing a curveball, but understand this. Brandon Staley, if he can't win them, if he can't get them to the playoffs, and then by the way, get to the playoffs, and by the way, win us a playoff game. If he doesn't do that, if he doesn't win at least one playoff game this year, he's fired. He's done. The Chargers are going to cut ties with him. This Chargers offense is way too freaking talented. Matter of fact, this team is way too talented. You're a defensive-minded head coach, and y'all's defense is still garbage. Out there, giving up 31 points after having a 27-0 lead. I know you can even blame that on the offense, but still, what happened? You know? I mean, dang. I'm just saying, if it doesn't happen, if Brandon Staley can't win a freaking playoff game for the Chargers this year, they're cutting ties with them. All right? Because you've had way too talented of a team to, at this point, year 3, and one playoff appearance. One playoff appearance. One and done. After blowing a 27-0 lead. It has to happen. Brandon Staley has to win at least one playoff game, or the Chargers are going to cut ties with him. They're going to cut ties with him. They're going to be done with him. It's over. So, in my opinion, those are my 4 teams that I believe have the most pressure, have the pressure cooker to make something happen this upcoming 2023 season. With that being said, that has been my time. Like, subscribe, and that is it. Peace.